All right, everybody, welcome back. Mondays with Mark Allen. And we have with us today one of the most amazing women athletes of all time, Gwen Jorgensen, gold medal in Rio. And I think her story is something you're really going to want to listen to today, because not only is she a great athlete, but she's a mom. And she just had the birth of her second son, George, a few months ago. And she's making a comeback, hoping to make it to the next Olympics in Paris. Gwen, great to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mark.
You were at the first of your comeback races this just a little over a week ago. How was it for you?
Yeah, it was good. My son was exactly 4 months at that race. So it was pretty quick turnaround from postpartum, and I feel like now I'm actually like training. There was a few weeks, maybe 2 weeks before the race, that I felt like I was actually training. Like before that I was training, but I did my first swim, bike, and run all in one day a few weeks before that race, and we had a little hiccup getting to the race, so we landed like less than 48 hours before the race. So yeah, I was really happy with how it went. And it had been 7+ years, I think, since I'd done a triathlon. So I was really nervous about the little things, like, am I going to remember to buckle my helmet? Am I going to remember, like just those little things? So yeah, it was fun to get out there. And I think, a big thing for me in this campaign of mine is to have play over perfection.
Mm.
And I really felt like I was out there like a kid, just playing and having fun. I haven't had this much fun doing triathlon, so it's been really exciting.
I think that's a great message for everybody in the sport: play over perfection. I'm sure a lot of people are looking at you like, you just had the birth of your son 4 months ago, and you just had your first swim, bike, run workout a couple of weeks before the race, and you finished up on the podium. How did you do that? And clearly you haven't been just sitting around knitting socks for the last 7 years.
Yes. Yeah. After triathlon, when I quit triathlon, after 2016, I wanted to be a professional runner, and I was a professional runner. I had a big goal of winning the Olympic marathon, and I didn't even go to the Olympic trials in the marathon. I had some Achilles injuries. I had a Haglund's deformity that I had surgery for, but I ended up running the 5K on the track, had some huge PRs, ended up 9th at the Olympic trials, which I was really happy with. I know that I'm never going to be a 14:15 or 14:20 5K. So how I ended up on the track in my 5K, I was really proud of that. And yeah, after the birth of my son, I think like 4 weeks postpartum, I did my first workout, which was a 20-minute bike at like 100 watts. So super easy, just kind of moving, and just have been slowly progressing from there. And yeah, the race this past weekend was super tough. And it, like you said, it's not like I haven't been doing anything. I had been training, and I think it's early season for everyone. So no one's really at peak fitness right now.
For all you listening, you probably think Gwen Jorgensen is going to be going out there and training hours and hours. You heard it. 20-minute bike ride, 100 watts. Now that just says we all start from the beginning of where we're at right now, right?
That's right. Yeah, you just have to accept where you are. And I think as well, this is my second son, and both times coming back postpartum, or if you have to come back from an injury, I think it's celebrating where you are, and not comparing to where you were a year ago or 3 years ago, but just like, oh my gosh, I went on my longest ride, or I did this or that, and just was able to move. I think it's really important to accept ourselves where we are, and to be proud of where we are and how we can move forward from there.
Absolutely. There's a lot of athletes as they age, they're trying to compete with their younger selves. And I tell people, you will never win against that competitor, your younger self. Celebrate where you are at right now. I was curious, when did the thought come back, I want to try to make it to Paris? Was it while you were pregnant, before that, or after the birth?
Yeah, it was while I was pregnant. Before that, I had, I remember watching the 2020 Olympics, and Patrick had asked me, my husband, he's like, do you wish you were there? I was like, no. So I had no desire at that time, but I did watch the relay, and I did tell Patrick when I watched the relays a few days later after the individual, like, man, I wish I could do the relay. Like, I really felt like I missed out on that. And so that's kind of the first time I had initially thought about it, when I watched that relay in 2021. And yeah, then I got pregnant, and Patrick kind of brought it up. He's like, well, would you want to do just the relay? And it
Hmm.
just got me excited. And I was like, well, I haven't swam for 7 years. I'm going to be horrible. And so I actually joined Ian O'Brien's group for a little bit while I was pregnant and was swimming with him. And I joined and swam with them to see if I could get some swim fitness back, which I did. But what was way more important was I was having fun in the water, which is the big
Hmm.
reason why I quit triathlon, is I just wasn't having fun, especially in the swim. So yeah, it's been really enjoyable.
Wow. Okay, so we're play, fun, celebrate. These are three key words, I think, that can really help people have a good perspective on what's going on. What was it about the relay that really intrigued you? Why did that sound so exciting?
Well, one, I didn't get to do that in 2016. It was not an Olympic event. And I did do some relays. I was a mixed team relay world champion one of the years. So I just love the relay. And even growing up, when I was a kid, I grew up as a swimmer. And I remember like relays just always brought out the best in me. I'd go my best times in the relays. I'd have so much fun. It's exciting. It's dynamic. And yeah, it's just something that, I feel like I had accomplished everything in triathlon that I wanted to accomplish. And then when the relay became an Olympic event, that was something that I wasn't able to do. And so it's just a new challenge and something that I really want to be able to compete in.
Yeah, combining that endurance background with that team aspect, and yeah, I swam too, and I found relays the most fun. I didn't have fun in the individual races, but the relays, they were fun. You're all up there and you're cheering for each other, and to have a mixed relay, I think that's a pretty cool thing too.
Yes, it's so exciting to have the men and the women compete together and create the best team in the world. And USA got silver in Tokyo, and I really believe that Team USA can be gold in Paris. It's as well, they changed the order, so it now ends with a female, and the run is a little bit longer, proportionate to the swim and bike. And so for me, I'm like, oh, I want to get in there. I want to have a good, strong last leg. I want to do it. It's just something that motivates me.
Yeah, and to get there, you have to qualify individually. So that clearly is your goal. Did you compare notes with other women who have come back from pregnancy at top level of sports when you were contemplating and when George was there and you're in those early weeks?
I didn't actually. I did a lot when I came back from Stanley. And what I learned when I talked to other moms is that everybody's journey is so different, and we just have to listen to our body. Even Stanley's birth versus George's, the labor was just completely different, and I was able to bounce back, I think, a lot quicker after George.
Mm.
So, it's just, you just kind of have to listen to your body and be patient. Those early days feel like you're never going to get fit. And it's like anytime when you take a break and come back, it's really hard. But a few weeks or months later, you realize, oh man, like, I just had that race, and like you said, I got third. Like, okay, I'm 4 months postpartum. Like, that didn't take so long.
Yeah, I think that's some kind of world's record in itself right there. Yeah, I've read a number of accounts of women coming back after pregnancy, coming back into sport, top level of sport, and it really does seem like the journey is pretty individual. I was reading one of your blogs, and you were talking about when you were pregnant, you were craving salt and you needed 10 hours of sleep, and I'm thinking, oh my God, that's what's going on with me. I'm pregnant. I crave salt. I need 10 hours of sleep. But joking aside, obviously, you had sport as a world-class athlete, as a gold medalist, without a child, without children. Now you have children. How has that changed your perspective overall?
Yeah, it's changed it completely. I think, how I approach training is different. And as well, like when I come home, I always tried before kids to not let workouts impact me. Like
Mm.
if I have a bad workout, come home and, you just move on. Like not every workout is going to be a PR. Like we all know that logically, but we still let it, I think, get to us when we
Mm.
have a bad workout. And now when you have kids and you come home, it's just like, you have no time to think about it. Your kids don't care what you did at, training. Like it doesn't matter. And so I think that's been really good for me to just have that perspective of, what's really important. And as well, this time around, right now I'm in New Plymouth training, and I spent a month here back in 2016 as well. And I just have been telling Patrick, I'm like, I'm enjoying this so much more. I'm like, the running seems better. We're, seeing more sights and doing more things. And I just feel like it's this once in a lifetime opportunity where I think a little bit in the past, I was taking all of that for granted. And you can really compete better if you're happy. So yeah, but I'm also older. I'm 36 years old. And so I have, 2 kids, and George, who is unpredictable in his sleep. So training wise, we can't really be a 10 out of 10 every day. Cause I could wake up and have, only had 5 hours of sleep the previous night, or Stanley could get sick at school. And so we're really trying to just hit that consistency, which is something I think, really great at in my last triathlon go around. And so this time we're really trying to make sure I'm able to have that consistency in training over these, huge PR one day and then have to take some days off.
Wow, I always say consistency is the key to any kind of success in sport. When my son was born, he was a year and a half old the final year that I did Ironman, and I really had to take all the workouts that I was doing to support my ego and toss those out the window and do the ones that were really key for actually gaining fitness. And I realized so much of what I had been doing prior to that had nothing to do with getting me better. It was just like these odd things that were stupid to do. And it took having a newborn to show me the perspective of, this is what you really need to do. And like you said, you come home and you see your child and you had a lousy workout and they smile and
you forget. Yeah. And exactly like you were saying about the workouts, you realize, I think, I don't know if it's kids or if it's getting older, but you just realize, like, this is what I need and this is fluff. And we can get rid of the fluff and we can really concentrate on what we need. And as well, I think, I know my body a lot better. And so I know, like, when I'm run down or when I need a massage or when I need more rest. And I think, again, I don't know if that's coming from having children or just being older and knowing myself better and knowing, I think when I was previously, if I had like a niggle or something pop up, I'd want to train through it. And now it's like, no, I will take 24 hours off and be okay, and only end up taking, missing a half of a workout as opposed to 3 weeks of workouts in the future. And I think it's just having that, I don't know if it's confidence in yourself or just ability to know what your body needs that really allows, I think, as an older mom to know what I need and how to improve.
Wisdom and perspective.
Yes, exactly.
Well, International Women's Day is in 2 days. What message would you say to other women out there who are pursuing goals, who are moms or thinking of becoming moms, and they're trying to figure out that balance?
Yeah, I would say get help. So I think, for me with our first son, Stanley, we didn't get any help. We didn't send him to daycare. We didn't have a nanny. We didn't have family in town. And it was really hard and really draining. And this time around with George, we have an au pair. And so I think don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. And as well, don't be afraid to go after your goals. I think it's important for your children to see you pursue something that makes you happy, because you're going to want your children to pursue their own thing as well. You don't want them, at least I don't want my children to do, something I'm forcing them to do. I want them to be passionate about something, and I want them to own their passion and do it with their whole heart. And so that's what I really want to embody and show them that they can do.
Wow. What will, when 2024 comes and Paris comes and goes, whether you're there or not there, how would you, what will be something that you want to look back and be able to say along that in this journey that you're taking starting right now?
Yeah. One of them, I already said, I want to say that I've had play over perfection through all of this and had fun and made it a game and just be like a little kid inside. I also want to make sure that I have connection with my family, my supporters, and the people that matter to me. And as well, I want to make sure that I'm trusting my abilities. And those are kind of the three key themes that I have in this comeback that I'm really focused on, that I think if I can accomplish those, I'll be very proud of. You know, I think it's something as well that I can walk away knowing that my children and I can be happy.
Wow, those are great things. Honor your community. Absolutely, no person gets anywhere in life without that community of support, family, friends. As Gwen said, reach out if you need help, and to honor yourself and those dreams that you have, and to have fun. Absolutely. Gwen, good luck. We're going to be following you for the next couple of years, and thank you so much for taking time out of your training to talk today. Mondays with Mark Allen, everybody. Gwen, we'll see you soon.
Thanks.